Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to visiting the fattest, most cigarette addicted and least visited country. This video is blown up recently. I saw it when it was first posted and I was fascinated by it, but I just didn't end up going to react to it. But now I see it's bloody blown up, 60 million views in 9 days. So yeah, this video's done very well. And I mean, Nauru is in the Pacific Ocean, and I mean there's a lot of islands there, especially like near Nauru. They're basically just on their own in the middle of nowhere, so it's very easy to see how things could go quite bad there, whether it's food shortages or having to import bad food so they can't grow foods in their island and just stuff like that. But we're going to check this out and see and learn a bit about this place. If you've been there before, let me know what it was like, and if you're from here, on the off chance you're from here, I assume you're probably not, let me know I guess how it is day to day to live in this country. I mean, we're going to see what it's like through this video, but let's jump into this. Link's also in the description to my Patreon, where you can see my reactions to stuff that I can't post to YouTube. But let's jump into this and learn a little bit about this place.
Nauru, located in the middle of the vast waters of the Pacific Ocean and appearing just as a tiny dot on the map. It's this.
Where's it closest to? So this is not Samoa. Is this Samoa? No, this is Samoa or Guinea.
Smallest independent republic. Hardly 200 people make their way to this country each year. I began this journey by arriving at Istanbul airport 3 hours early. I first flew to San Francisco in 13.5 hours.
Wait, so you go around this way to go there? I guess that makes sense. You stop off in the US. I would have thought you'd go the other way around, but I mean, I guess it's easier to go through the US than... Maybe it's not easier, actually, I don't know.
After a 7-hour layover, I took another long 13-hour flight to Nadi in the Fiji Islands and then waited again for a 7-hour layover. With nearly 75% of its seats unoccupied, the flight to Nauru from Nadi took 4.5 hours, and my 48-hour endless journey finally came to an end. This is the least visited country in the world. Even the closest countries are thousands of kilometers away from here. Once I set foot on the island, I have to wait for the next flight to leave, which is scheduled almost a week later. Sea travel is not an option either. Nauru is surrounded by massive coral reefs, preventing large ships from approaching them.
Really? That is wild. So they literally are just screwed. They have to only get out by plane.
The shore. Until recently, the locals on this isolated island had so much wealth that they didn't even know what to do with it. Once reaching phosphate deposits.
Oh, I remember learning about this place. They basically just extracted all the materials from this island, and then when there was nothing left, the island was screwed, right?
In 1975, Nauru became the country with the highest GDP per capita in the world. Today, however, in these destroyed lands where no vegetables and fruits can grow, processed and fatty foods have become the norm. Topping global charts, Nauru is recognized by the world's obesity.
It's crazy to think that 1, 2, 3, I think 4, 5, 6, 7. I think pretty much all these are. I think all these islands. I maybe Kiribati is the one I'm off for, but I think even Kiribati, they are all in the same area of the world.
Federation as the world's most obese country, with around 60% of its citizens are obese. The World Health Organization also reports that Nauru has the highest cigarette consumption rate in the world. The government's effort to keep
That's not good hand in hand for sure.
foreign media away from the country is quite obvious. After going through a month-long procedure in which I presented countless documents, I could hardly get a tourist visa. While the regular application fee is $50 Australian, an astronomical amount of 8,000 Australian dollars is demanded from journalists and media representatives as a deterrent. The police immediately took my drone I was carrying as I entered the country. You might have noticed something odd in the island's aerial perspective. They discouraged capturing Nauru from the sky. Filming here won't be easy because of a dirty truth that Nauru has been trying to hide, which you'll come to learn in the following scenes.
I am in the Yaran region right now. Since the runway area and the driveway area are right next to each other, it's usual for the cars to give way to airplanes here. Pedestrians are warned against jet blast occurring during landing and takeoff. This is because the country is so small that the strip-shaped airport stretches across the entire southwest coast of the island.
What you see here is airport. If I want to get inside, I could just jump over this fence and I could do it.
The total area of the island is only 21 square kilometers.
What, and are all these like houses just around next to the airport? God damn, that's such. I mean, I knew, like, I've learned about this place, right? But that's so wild that this whole middle is pretty much uninhabited. And it's all just around the coast.
or 8 square miles. It takes a maximum of 20 minutes to drive the whole country by car, and every journey returns to its starting point as there is only one ring road.
The police are on patrol all the time. As I don't want to draw attention, I've reached out the only tourism agency in the country, and I will begin to explore the island with a guide.
According to the agency, only 1 or 2 tourists come to the island in a month, so the real numbers are way lower than those stated on the internet.
What do you do in your free time on the island?
Volleyball.
So what do you do in your free time on the island?
Anything we want to do.
Like what?
Fishing, sleeping, eating. 1, 2, 3.
He's got the golden balls, man.
Yeah, boy.
Although it is not often visited by people, Nauru has been a favorite stop for migratory birds for centuries. While the island was thought to have limited resources, its soil contained a treasure called guano made of bird droppings and marine microorganisms. In 1899, German geologist Albert Ellis discovered that this plateau had high-quality phosphate reserves. Once as valuable as gold, phosphate is a raw material boosting productivity in agriculture, and during the First World War, Australia quickly annexed and turned Nauru into an overseas mining field. Except for Japan's brief occupation in 1942, the extracted phosphate was sold to the world for years at extremely low prices.
Some old people say that this cell here, Japanese used to pile people in and then close it up, put some gasoline from the rooftop and then burn them in there. Those who don't want to work for them.
This railroad, which
Oh
time is
my
about to erase, was
days.
constructed in 1907 to transport phosphate mines from the land's interior to the harbor on the western coast. By the time Nauru gained independence in 1968, 35 million
Wait, this is it now. They just left it there to just fall apart.
metric tons of phosphate had left from its shores. It's hard to believe, but in the past century, the fruits and vegetables that found their way onto the tables of many people around the world were grown with the phosphate extracted from the soil of this tiny island.
After gaining independence, Nauru obtained significant wealth, and many Naurans whose lands will be used for phosphate mining quitted their job and began counting down the days to become millionaires. Thousands of workers from China and other Pacific islands were brought to work in the dirty, hot and tough conditions of the phosphate mines. Nauru had a per capita income of around $176,000 by the year 1975, whereas in the world's
In 1975, damn, even now that's crazy.
leading economy, the United States had around $44,000, taking into account
But do you reckon it was the rich people who were really like making that look a lot more than it actually was? Because I'm sure there was still, would there have still been poverty in the country at that point? Because I'm sure not everyone was working within this industry. But even then, I mean, that's crazy to even see. Like, that's a crazy high amount for it to be on average.
today's inflation rates. Nauru managed to establish a welfare state where there were no taxes. Education, transportation, healthcare services, and even housing were all
So it was very good.
provided free of charge.
I've seen my grandma come out of the bank with the pillowcase. They put all their money inside and just walk out with the money. Spend it all up.
I heard that there was a police officer who bought a Lamborghini, but he realized that he did not fit into the
Yes.
car and dumped it. Is it true?
Yes, that's true. Even
big
some
waves.
of the cars are bought for just decorations.
As Nauru suddenly became wealthy, a frenzy of consumption overtook them, and this small island was filled with the latest car models. Along the roadside, we came across a collection of abandoned luxury cars from the past: Cadillacs, Jeeps, Land Rovers. These are just a few of the vehicles that the island residents once used for speed and amusement on this road. It is almost like a car graveyard here. The layer of rust on them indicates how distant the days of glory are. Ever since I got here, the natives have been warning me to watch out for the packs of stray pit bulls roaming around the road.
How is there stray pit bulls on a small island like this? What?
Once a popular breed, some islanders eagerly adopted these dogs and left them on the streets. Along with the dogs, more animals
There's pigs just roaming around. What?
that were not originally present in Nauru were also brought in over time. Cat, chickens, and pigs are animals that the islanders have become familiar with relatively recently.
When miners uprooted the trees and excavated the fertile soil, all living organisms were harmed. It's neither suitable for agriculture nor construction, and Naurans are suffering dire consequences of this problem.
Nauru's terrain is covered with pits, some is
That is crazy. It's the whole damn island.
Deep as 15 meters or 49 feet, and limestone peaks extending from the center of the island to the coastal areas. No agricultural products can thrive in this barren land with its high level of acidity. Naurans depend on highly processed canned food from overseas, mostly imported from Australia, to sustain themselves. The average life expectancy of the people of Nauru is 64 years. A poor quality diet has made Nauru hold the title of the world's most obese nation.
That's a strong ass bike. Fair enough.
For years. This island, which was not yet discovered by the Western world 150 years ago, was self-sufficient, but now they outsource everything. Here, 97% of men and 94% of women are overweight or obese.
Damn. That is high. Flipping hell.
The obesity issue in Nauru is like an epidemic. It's everywhere. On the streets, in the restaurants, at the markets, I see people struggling with extra weight.
Within a population where 45% suffer from diabetes, amputations are common. There are awareness-raising banners all around the country.
The store shelves are empty, as you can see. Products are imported here every 6 weeks. It's a luxury to have fresh fruits and vegetables on the island. A head of cauliflower is priced at 18 Australian dollars, and
Flipping on that. And that would be like, I think $1 Australian is like 50 US cents. 50 cents in the US. I think that's how it would be.
a watermelon costs 61 Australian
Oh,
dollars.
wow.
Many residents enjoy consuming meat products that Western countries refuse to sell to their own people and instead market them as turkey tails to Naurans. This part of the animal, which is 75% pure fat, is far from being nutritious.
Mad.
Lack of living space is another drawback of phosphate mining. The destruction has left 80% of Nauru uninhabitable, squeezing its estimated 14,000 residents into a coastal area of just 4 square kilometers or 1.5 square miles. This is Bada Lagoon, the only untouched area on the island that contains the
Wow. That is... This is so, like, makes me happy and sad at the same time that there's a little part of this island that's just been left how it, I guess probably not left completely. Maybe it's because there was no materials here or what, but this does look beautiful.
original flora. It opens a door to the past. Nauru was once filled with this plant cover, but now it's all vanished. Here it's still possible to see banana trees, pandanus trees, and pineapple plants. Rising like sculptures, the coral rock formations on Nauru's coastline reach up to 5 meters or 16 feet above the sea. The ocean floor is covered by dead coral rocks that extend about 200 meters from the shore, making it impossible for large ships to dock. Many of these are underwater and become visible only when the sea recedes. This makes it possible for the people to walk up to hundreds of meters in water and hunt fish. With the destruction
Wow.
of trees, average temperatures have increased to around 30 degrees Celsius or 86 degrees Fahrenheit all year round. On the island, influenced by the monsoon winds seasonally, rain and time flow as well. However, Nauru lacks any rivers or streams. Islanders have limited access to fresh water. The country produces 2 million liters of drinking water daily by treating ocean water using reverse osmosis at these
Oh, wow.
desalination plants. There is an underground lake named Mokoa Well. Finding the entrance to this cave without the help of a local is challenging as its entrance is quite narrow. During times of war, the people of Nauru use this place both as a shelter and to access drinking water. It's filled with cans and pieces of glass. This underground lake is no longer a reliable supply of drinking water.
What was the religion before Christianity?
It's the Burak. It's the god here. There's the altar on top side. If they give it food, it will come into life and then it will bring them what they were asking for.
Is there anyone who still believes in Burak?
Some, they believe that this water here, and they've witnessed that if you come and take a dip, it will heal your skin or maybe some other diseases.
There is no official capital city in the country. However, Yarran district contains all of the institutions such as the Parliament House, embassies, the country's only police station, fire department, and the airport. There are only 11 schools here, including 3 high schools and a state university. Almost everyone on the island is fluent in English. The locals speak Nauran as their first language. For example, the name Nauru itself originates from Nauran term Anoero, which means I go to the beach.
How do you say hello?
Waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting.
How about how are you?
Como.
I came to the Parliament building where Nauru is governed. Contrary to the expected formal setting, it reflects the relaxed atmosphere of the island. There was no security at the entrance and I have been allowed to take photos and videos with my phone. With only 19 seats, Nauru's parliament is one of the smallest in the world.
If those here knew about the scenes I will show you later in the video, they would probably think twice about letting me be here. By the 1970s, the Nauru government realized that their phosphate reserves ending and they mirrored oil-rich Middle Eastern nations by investing in overseas overseas properties, including Nauru House in Melbourne, Nauru Tower in Hawaii, Pacific Star Hotel in Guam, Pacific House in Washington, the Grand Pacific Hotel in Fiji, and many more. However, corruption and mismanagement put the government into a deficit of millions of dollars per year throughout the 1990s, and the savings from the phosphate quickly went up in smoke. In an effort to sustain its welfare, the government aimed to turn the country into a tax haven and got involved in a money laundering scandals with drug cartels, the Russian mafia, and organizations like Al-Qaeda. Nauru issued license to over 400 foreign banks under a system that didn't require branching and allowed optional record keeping. During that period, the Russian mafia alone laundered an estimate of $70 billion through the banks in Nauru. As a result of international pressures, the country put an end to illegal offshore banking activities and has been compelled to use a cash-based economy since 2004. The Australian dollar is the official currency of Nauru. A few and only ATMs in the country don't have money either. I brought some cash with me because credit cards are also not accepted here. Following efforts to prevent money laundering, only one bank, which is Australian, currently operates in the country. As the year 2000 approached, phosphate reserves had run dry and phosphate export fell to 1% compared to its peak period. The country's central bank collapsed and its properties abroad were sold off one by one.
We see the excavation machines in action as we move through the topside. The country still continues to extract phosphate on a small scale.
Oh
If
my
they
god,
discover
it's still doing it.
another phosphate mine here, will you support mining it?
I'll just say leave the nature alone, because Nauru now digging to the ground, we're gonna sink.
52% of the population lives at or below the poverty line and tries to survive on aid from the church. In low-income areas, stress triggers high levels of tobacco consumption. Roughly 1 out of every 2 individuals above the age of 15 consume cigarettes on the island. There are a total of 5 beaches on the island, and they have been partially littered with rubber tires and trash. Nauru agreed to accept unwanted refugees from Australia in exchange for financial support in 2001. Around 1,000 refugees, mostly of Afghan, Iraqi, and Iranian descent, were transported to Nauru and detained for an indefinite period. On the top side, 3 refugee camps were established. People were forced to stay in plastic tents for years.
Oh, this is mental to me.
Years under the scorching sun without regular access to clean water. Many tried to escape from inhuman, miserable conditions and uncertain future by ending their lives. The ones who suffered the most from this situation were the children, who made up the majority of the camps. Australia was spending an average of $550 million each year to maintain these camps. In other words, the Nauru government made a profit of $500,000 for each refugee held captive on the island.
As I tried to get to these hidden areas, suddenly barricades appeared in my way. They had blocked all the roads leading to the camps located in the 3 different
They've just left them there as well.
spots in the topside. I found a way to shoot from the outside.
For around 2 decades, these camps became the scene of numerous individuals losing their lives due to medical negligence, accidents, and taking one's own life. Recent reports indicate that these places are now completely empty. However, the locals have no specific knowledge about this matter. Currently, Nauru is counting down the days to engage in deep-sea mining in collaboration with the Canada-based metals company. Their plan is to extract polymetallic stones that only grow a few millimeters per million years. These stones containing metals such as cobalt, nickel, copper, and manganese found in batteries will be the energy source of the near future. Scientists warn that these mining operations, putting marine life at risk, could potentially reduce the ocean's capacity to absorb carbon and accelerate climate change. The illusion of wealth that suddenly Nauru got itself into in the late 1960s caused a generation to not understand the importance of artwork and education. The government did not make future plans and exhausted all the nation's resources. It seems almost impossible to build a better future here without the necessary motivation, skills, and knowledge. This small island with wounds that can never be healed basically stands before us as a summary of what is going on in the world and as a lesson that humanity should always remember. Thank you for watching this documentary. I hope it added a value.
This place is wild, man. It's like a small island that you're just pretty much screwed. If you're not born into a somewhat wealthy family, you are pretty much screwed. Never was the expression, the love of money is the root of all evil, so perfectly demonstrated. That's fair. That's a very good point. Damn, this place is wild to me. Let me know your thoughts again. If you've been here, if you're from here, or whatever it is, I'd be fascinated to just hear your thoughts on this place, because it's just so wild to me that this island in the middle of nowhere has all these things going on there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Until next time, I subscribe and peace.